Hopefully you invited all your friends, Corbin.
I sent the link out. Yes.
Alrighty. Well, we are live. Welcome, Corbin Rook, who is from the great state of Kentucky. It's just a great show already. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Tell us about your? Well, no, we don't want to talk about your books yet. We'll wait a couple minutes for people to get here.
Yeah.
So, where are you calling in from exactly? As if we didn't just ask this a minute ago.
Yeah. So I'm in the northern Kentucky area. Right around Florence right now.
Okay. So let me ask you this, because I always tell people I'm from northern Kentucky. If you say I'm from Cincinnati, those are fighting words. If you say I'm an Ohioan,
I'm not from Kentucky, and I would think if you said you're from Ohio or any place therein, those would be fighting words. So that's fair.
There you go.
Yeah, just don't tell Laura Huey or Ellen Holmes that, who are both from Ohio. But Laura's from the Mistake on the Lake, so I mean, what can she even say?
My favorite thing about Ohio is that if you Google "Factory of Sadness," the Brown Stadium comes up.
I feel so bad for Cleveland Browns fans. They have had such a rough go, but you know what? Like, kudos to them for the character they have sticking with that franchise. I mean, kudos to them. I don't know how they do it.
Fans should get together and have a big party just so they can.
There you go. Yeah, they've got a lot of grit. And they've got some reasons to be excited about the future. So who knows? Maybe the Browns will do something good.
Yeah.
I would prefer for the Bengals to do something good first, but we'll see.
I root against the Bengals. That's the one thing. I don't watch football, pro football, but I always root against the Bengals no matter what.
I kind of root for them just because they're both such underdogs. Unless they're playing my team, I root for them. It's like, yeah.
But the Brown family they're so cheap that they're like, we know it's a sucky product, but people will buy tickets anyway, so we'll make money on a bad product.
You are 100% right. The Reds are the same way with the Castellinis. And I've got this weird Stockholm syndrome thing going on where it's one of those, like, I wish I could quit you situations with both teams. I can't.
So growing up, I always liked the Milwaukee Brewers for no discernible reason. We got a Michiganer in the chat here, so he's rooting for Detroit. So have they done anything in any sport? Maybe hockey, but that doesn't really count. So
Detroit, they were the first team to go 0-16.
Woohoo!
There you go.
Oh. So anyway, we got some people now. So Corbin, tell us about your book.
I've got a copy of it right here. So my book, it's my debut novel. It's called Shadows of the Sundered Lands, and it is a fantasy novel that's set in this post-apocalyptic world where there's an event that happened before the story started that transformed all living things into monsters. And there was a couple communities that are protected through these shrouds. And if you're inside the shroud, you're safe. Everything is fine. But if you go outside the shroud, this transformation process starts. And so these communities have been cut off or sundered from each other, hence the name Shadows of the Sundered Lands. And there's a group of people called the Vanguard that has to travel from shroud to shroud, carrying messages or food, supplies, medicines. And one of these such couriers uncovers evidence that these shrouds are beginning to break down, and so that is where the story takes place. So, Shadows of the Sundered Lands. It's been super well received by readers. I've loved seeing the feedback that readers have given, saying that it's a fun read, very fast paced. Seeing them connect with characters, it's been very exciting to see.
Okay, I have two questions. Two very, very important questions. One, is there an audiobook? And two, how many pages?
Great question. So audiobook is coming very, very soon.
Okay, good.
My voice actor earlier today, actually, and he has finished recording the book. And so we're just more talking about launch strategy with it right now. So it's coming very, very soon. How many pages? So it's 364 pages, I think.
You're good. It's under 500.
Yeah, it's under 500. Yeah, it's It's about 108,000 words.
Okay.
So reasonable length.
Yes.
So this is all. Is it post-apocalyptic, like modern post-apocalyptic?
Good question. So technology level would be more like classic fantasy, Middle Ages, sword, shields, things like that. Yeah.
So there won't be anything left over amongst the ruins that they kind of find and say, what the hell is this?
Yeah, they wouldn't find, like modern day weapons, for examples, or things like that. That doesn't mean to say, as you go through the story, that there's nothing out there. There may be some clues for them to find out there. I don't want to give any spoilers, but
Sure.
yeah, there are things out there.
So just to go backwards a little bit, this is my brother, by the way, and he wants to know if you long for the days of Marge Shot.
Oh, if I I used to write for a sports blog called Bet Jack, and I wrote a piece about Marge Shot, and the song "We Don't Talk About Bruno" from Encanto. I said the Reds should start every year with "We Don't Talk About Marge Shots." She did a lot of good things for the team, objectively. And there's a lot of baggage that comes with Marge Shot, so we don't talk about Marge Shot.
So, she owned the Reds, and she got kicked out of her own stadium.
Nice. Nice.
Because she was smoking in the first row, and it was a smoke-free environment, so they kicked her out.
What the hell was she smoking? Doesn't she have like an owner's box where she can do that?
Oh yeah, then she went up to the owner's box and just did. But she was sitting in the first row, with her gloves made from Shotzi's fur, her dog, her Saint Bernard dog, and smoking. She told the players it brought them luck, so she would sit there and pet the players with the gloves that had the dog fur on.
You would think that that's as strange as it gets with her petting players. It's like just spend some time Googling her. Like she's a character.
There's a rabbit hole I do not need to go down.
I mean,
like
Cincinnati
we don't
also
talk about Marge Shot in Cincinnati.
I guess if you got the money to buy sports teams, that you're gonna have some idiosyncrasies.
And remember, Jerry Springer was once the mayor of Cincinnati too. So
that's right. Yeah.
It's a quirky town,
and they have flying pigs on pedestals.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we could talk Cincinnati all day, but let's talk about your book. That'll be more fun.
Is this your only book right now?
Right now, it's the only one that's out. We have a second book coming out later on this year, so it serves as a sidequel, if that makes sense. So there is
sidequel. I'm writing that down.
Thank you. So the story of Shadows of the Sundered is in a specific nation. And so the second book shows what's happening in the broader world outside of this hellscape that is the Sundered Lands. So that it's called Symphony of Scars. And it's about a group of people that have learned how to tap into magic through basically music theory. And everything in this community revolves around music. So they have streets that the cobblestones are placed in such a way that as wagons go over them, it makes songs, and like whistles are built into towers so that when the wind blows, they can hear music. And the capital punishment in this society is that you would lose your ears and your tongue, so you could not hear or create music. So that's the second book. It's called Symphony of Scars. It's going to be coming out later this year.
So this cobblestone thing that you got that from there's a road somewhere where if you drive, they put these little bumps on the side of the road. Where if you go down it, it plays like a Marine Corps hymn or something like that.
Yep, that is what gave the idea.
Yeah,
it is not there anymore. By the way, it was in New Mexico. So I went there specifically to drive over it. And they're like, it's gone. It was paved over. It's smooth now. I was like, I was going to go the speed limit, people, but now why would I?
There you go.
Why would you pave over that? I mean, how many other reasons are there to go to New Mexico?
I went for an eclipse, so I'm good for another 1,000 years.
Right.
There you go.
And I actually stayed at Roswell, and I'm like, which was not.
Do the wagons have to go a certain speed across the cobbles?
I hadn't thought that far about it. My thought was it would just kind of make musical notes.
It's magic. It's magic,
Yeah,
damn
it's
it.
magic.
You
It's
know,
magic.
the horses pull it. You know, they're all going to go about the same speed.
Right, right.
The horse clops provide the beat to it or something.
And that's how you know if your horse is lazy.
There you go.
So is this going to be a trilogy or more?
So it's going to be 4 books total. So the first 3 books are all standalones. So it's these separate events that are taking place in this world. And as you read, you could start anywhere. You could start with book 3, then go to 2 and 1, or start with book 1, then 3. It doesn't matter. But as you read through them, you'll start to pick up on like hints and Easter eggs about kind of a story that's going on in the background. And you're like, okay, there's something bigger happening. And then I have a 4th book that I'm currently outlining that resolves all of that. And it's an idea that I've had since I was a kid, that basically, like, what if there was a series where the main characters of separate books had to come into conflict with each other because of the events of their own stories, essentially. And so that's kind of what I'm planning for book 4.
So all of your main characters are going to be pitted against one another?
Yeah, so if you read through through the books, like, so in Shadows of the Sundered, so the main character at the end of it, he has some commitments that he has to follow through on. And so because he's stuck with those, he has to go on a certain course of action. And without giving any spoilers, other characters will have different commitments that they have to follow through on too, all of which are good. It's not like someone's like, now you have to go do this terrible thing. It's like, I'm going to protect this group of people, or I'm going to keep this kid safe, or something like that. And then that 4th book, those goals get to a point where they intersect, and not everybody can be happy. And so it's going to cause some friction.
All right. So, I mean, you've already kind of you didn't allude to it. You said it. You plotted this. And I would think you would have to most carefully. How much? Help me get my brain around this, because I'm a pantser. And I would love to plot a book. I honestly would, but that would require me to sit down and actually think about what was going to happen. And the only way I can figure that out is to actually write what's happening.
Yep.
So while I would love to be able to plot a book, it's not going to happen for me. So how much time, effort, how much outlining are you doing to prepare for this? Because I'm assuming you've been kind of working on all 4 of them at the same time, kind of?
Yeah. I try to give myself the flexibility that as I'm writing it, if a better idea comes up, I don't want to be so committed to my outline that I would sacrifice the better idea. When I was writing Sundered, the first draft of it, as every writer will say, the first draft was terrible. And
Right.
But it forced me to think through all of those nitty-gritty, and it was a totally by the seat of my pants book, just kind of like, okay, well, this makes sense to happen next, and so on. And I joke with my wife that it wasn't really a draft of the book. It was more like the world's largest outline that was ever made, where the major events stay the same, but every other detail about the book is totally, like, character names change, how they get from point A to point B changes, the ending of the book is totally different. There's just a couple pillars of the story that are still there. And so as I kind of went through the pantsing method for the first draft of the book, that just forced me to think through all those details, and then really drill down what I want it to do from an outline and plot perspective. And so that's where more plotting and traditional plotting came from. And I found out that method really works for me. You get really frustrated on that first draft, knowing I'm basically just writing the world's largest outline right now. But I think it helps make a good product on the other side. At least that's what works for me.
Mike, say something. I have to sneeze.
Okay. I had 2 questions I was going to ask, and I forgot what they were.
All good.
So anyway, let's talk about Florence, and more specifically, the water tower,
Florence
the world
Gall.
famous water tower.
I for my day job, we had an intern one year who was not from this area, and she said she drove past the water tower before she got to the office, and she said, "What sort of town have we just entered?" Having this big red and white striped water tower that says Florence, y'all. It's iconic though. I love it.
So, do you know the story behind it?
I do. It was going to be Florence Mall, and
They painted Florence Mall, and then they realized it's against state law to advertise for a private entity, and they're going to have to repaint the whole thing. And somebody said, "Why don't we just change the M to a Y and an apostrophe?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's been Florence Y'all for 50 years now.
Yep. Yeah, and I know we were saying this before things went live, but there's a local Frontier baseball team that when I was a kid, they were called the Florence Liberty, Florence Freedom. It was called Florence Freedom, and they changed ownerships, and now they're the Florence Y'alls, and I love it. It's just that embracing of the water tower. Yeah,
the beauty of lower league baseball is that you have some really weird names and things like that.
Like the Mudfish and Mad Ants and
I think it'd be great if Major League Baseball, because they are set up to do it, if they adopted the English football system of relegation and promotion. Because let's face it, you don't need the Rays and the Cubs, when they suck, right?
We don't need the Cubs anyway. Let's just go down to 29 baseball teams. No more Cubs.
Downtrodden teams there are. Let's just let them go a little bit lower for a bit. Bring up,
I shouldn't talk smack about the Cubs because my team is the Reds, and they could. The Reds have been terrible lately.
I have no idea.
So I used to be a huge baseball fan in the 80s, and I kind of drifted away. And I used to tell a guy that I work with, I was like, when they institute a pitch clock, I'll start watching again. And he's like, that will never happen, which tells you how long ago I had this conversation.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, okay, I always root for the Brewers. If the Brewers make the World Series, I'll start watching baseball again. And I'm like, hey, they're actually good. I may have to start watching baseball. But no, they always choke. So
yeah, they nearly did this year.
Yeah, they figured out some sort of magic formula that they're competitive every single year. They're so scrappy, and they figure it out. But that doesn't really work well in the playoffs, unfortunately.
No, not when you have the Dodgers that have the GDP of a small country worth on a payroll.
Yeah, I know we're getting off the topic here and we're talking baseball, but
little off topic, yeah.
There's 100 and how many freaking games in a Major League Baseball? 162. Okay. Wars have been decided with fewer battles, right? If you're going to have 162 freaking games, you don't need a 7-game series. Just play one and done, right? You've already got half the league in the playoffs anyway. Play the one game or make it a doubleheader, right? And if the doubleheader splits, then the next day you play your tiebreaker and it's a best of 3. But other than that, let's just hurry this shit along because you spend way too much time playing baseball.
Well, the economics say no double headers because you could have people pay twice to see the games rather than just once if it's a double header. So that'll never happen.
It's just too many. Make the regular season 50 games then if you're going to have all these big ass series.
As a fan of a team that's often very, very bad, I like the idea of a short playoff series because the Reds have a better chance of getting lucky in 1 or 2 game series than they would over a 7-game series. So I like the way you're thinking.
Would the Red Sox have won in 04 or 07 or whatever it was without a long series? No.
They needed the long series. Yep.
Yeah. And it's like, well, that just means whatever. I just fucking baseball. Sorry. You got me riled up. And you bring back the Expos, we'll talk. But till
there
then,
we go. That's a throwback.
I'm done with baseball until the Expos come back.
And I just found out 2 years ago that the Expos weren't a team anymore. So that's how out of touch I am.
Yeah, you really checked out.
Wow, yeah. Long time ago. It's 95 or some nonsense?
Like I said, I stopped after I graduated high school in 89. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So
Wow, you really were, Doug. Holy shit.
And just same with
You
pro
know, people that
football
you say-
after.
You're talking about writing your book, and you use the term "we." So do you have like someone who writes with you, or are you just kind of chucking your wife in this as well as a partner in the process?
Yeah, great question. So my book was published under the Svetling Press banner. So it's a very small publisher that I don't know if you're familiar with Caden Love.
Yep,
He's
Caden Love. Yep.
Sucker. Yeah, it's competing in SPFBO right now. So any viewers that are you should check it out. It's a great book. But
which judging group?
I don't remember which judging group he's under right now. Sunderlands is in there right now under the Fanfi Addicts. So Dave Lawson wrote a very kind review for Shadows of the Sunderlands up on the Fanfi Addicts blog. So
nice.
If you're watching this, thank you, Dave Lawson. Really appreciate you.
I haven't
and if you're not, why aren't you?
And if you're not, why aren't you?
I haven't seen anything from the people that I'm under.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You're what, Fantasy Faction, Rue?
Yeah, the last time they updated their Facebook page was like 2024 or something. I don't know.
Oh goodness. It's been a
Yeah,
minute.
that sounds right.
It's been a while.
Yeah, but yeah, so Caden and his wife started this company, Svetling Press, and they ran a contest for a debut novelist. And so I submitted to their contest and won. And basically the winner of that contest that they would help you publish your book. And we both really enjoyed the process. And so at the end of it, I said, hey, if you guys ever want to run this back with the second book, I would love to. And they said, actually, we would love that too. And so we're running it back, and they're helping. So that's the we. But my wife is also super involved with this as well.
Awesome.
So yeah, she's been a great partner.
Yeah, that's really useful, especially when I don't know if there's any marketing background with either one of you, but even if there's not, it's super useful to have a second person just to throw ideas off from and things like that. So,
and marketing a book is so difficult too. And I wasn't on social media for like 6 years leading up to the launch of this book.
Lucky.
Yeah. So I frankly had no clue what I was doing. I think I'm getting better at it and learning it, but it's just it just changes so quickly. It's very different landscape than 6 years ago when I was on social media, and I wasn't really that good at it 6 years ago. I'd much rather just sit down and work on my book than think about a post and trying to make a viral moment happen.
Yeah, to be fair, everybody would.
So the most important question of the night: does your book have a map associated with it?
So not in the book, but there is a map. So
okay,
the maps there's a story there. So I wanted a map because some of the beta readers were saying like, hey, a map would be helpful to reference here. And so my younger brother is a graphic designer, and I said, would you mind helping me with this map? And I kind of sketched out what I was thinking, and he took it and made the most gorgeous map I have ever seen. And he used like actual hand cartography tools to make this, and then did this process of printing and scanning and then reprinting, rescanning to give it this kind of fuzzy hand-drawn quality. And I was like, this is awesome. And then it came time to format the book, and the dimensions of the map were wrong. And they said, hey, we either have to totally redesign this map, or could you ask your brother to kind of figure all this out? And at the time, my brother actually had cancer, and he's in remission now. But at the time he had cancer, was in the midst of all this chemo treatment. I said, I really don't want to, in the middle of all of this, ask him to redesign this map. And so the map exists. I have a website that's linked in my social media profiles that takes you to my online bookstore. So you can purchase the map there, or you could click on it and look at it. But the map is.
I want to see this map.
Yeah, I think it's gorgeous.
The website is scrolling below us on the screen.
So that's my newsletter site. If you go to my social media, my Instagram or TikTok, there should be a link to a PayHip site called Rook's Books that would take you, and you could buy the book there, and then I also put the map there as well. we were able to make it when Svetling and I we did the Kickstarter for the book. A printable version of the map became one of the additional add-ons for a certain tier of supporting too.
All right, let's see.
So when is the next book coming out?
So I don't have like a hard date yet. My goal is to have physical copies in the hands of readers before the holidays. The editor has been scheduled for April, and so last time with Sundered it took 5 or 6 months to go through the editing process. We did 3 rounds of edits, so two editing rounds and then 1 proofread. And so we're going to do the same thing this time around. So I'm not exactly sure how long that'll take. Obviously, depending on how quickly we can get through the editing process would change the publication timeline. But my goal is to have physical copies in the hands of readers before the holidays.
Nice.
Okay.
Good time. And then book 3 in 2027?
Yep, that's the plan. I've actually already reached out to the editor about locking in a date either at the end of this year or early next year to work on it. I'm almost done with it. I was talking to some beta readers earlier today. I said it's about 90% of the way there for needing beta readers. It was tons of fun to write as well. I'm not ready to start marketing it so much just yet, since we're still pretty early on in the process. I want to make sure to give Sundered Lands, the screen time it deserves, and then start hyping up Symphony of Scars as well. But the third one is coming as well. So
what do you do day to day? What's the job that keeps a roof over you?
Yeah, I'm in marketing. I don't want to give too many personal details away there. I can be Googleable in other ways, and I don't want to compete against my own name or anything like that.
No, that's fine. I mean,
yeah, I'm in marketing.
So that works really well for you then.
The marketing strategy side has helped me a lot, and go-to-market planning, and I know a little bit of graphic design, not enough to not enough to do crazy stuff, but I know a little bit, and so that's helped with the social media side of things. I know a lot of people that when they're marketing their book feel like they need to use AI generated imagery to help depict scenes. After learning about everything that goes into that, I would say, do not do that. And so what I'm going to start doing is making some of my own art and using that. It's not as good as a lot of the professional graphic designers out there, but it's mine. And I'm proud of it. And I think it also will give a lot of credibility. I was telling my wife, in an age of AI, people are right to be suspicious of any new books that come out, and right to wonder, hey, could AI have been used to write this book? And so my thought is, if I show that, I'm trying to learn art by myself, how to draw, how to do graphic design on my own using the limited skill sets that I have available, that'll give a little bit of credibility to the book as a whole.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of things that aren't even books that are starting to put no AI on them.
Right.
And I mean, I have very little actual intelligence, never mind artificial intelligence. So I don't want to get caught up in that. I can see a use for it. I've mellowed my position somewhat from absolutely not ever to there are certain situations where I think it's probably pretty useful, but not for writing or for art that gets or for art that is part of something that gets sold, right?
Exactly. So, I saw an article a couple months ago, and this guy in the article was saying that he writes 8 books a day using AI, and then makes AI generated covers and then launches them on Kindle Unlimited, and that he's making lots of money doing this because Kindle Unlimited will pay you by the page read, and so he's making 8 books a day, and so people are reading maybe 10 to 12 pages of each book, and he's just starting to rake it in. And I was reading this, and I'm like, that's wrong, you know. And I made a video when my Kickstarter was launching about why not to use AI, and there's a lot of reasons why not. Brandon Sanderson did a really good keynote speech on why not to use AI that everyone should check out. But one of the things I said is, from an ethical standpoint, I have a huge issue if I say this is a story that I wrote, if somebody else or something else wrote it, especially if it's something else that is not a human being. And so I just would really struggle with that from an ethical standpoint. And then
I take issue with the guy even saying I write 8 books a day. It's like, no, you freaking do not.
Right.
You put in, like, you know, some prompts or something, but you don't write jack.
Right. And I've seen videos, or not seen the video, but I've seen that they exist, of people that are like, hey, here's how you use AI to write a book, and here's the right prompts to put in. And for me, I'm like you were saying, like, AI can be helpful, like taking notes. You know, like, hey, can you help me organize my thoughts for my notes as I'm cleaning my house? You know, it's like, hey, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. Can you help me organize my thoughts with this? But when it comes to human creativity, it's not good at it. So, like, don't do it because it's not good at it. Two, don't do it because it's flat out wrong. It's stealing ideas from other authors without compensating them, and you are claiming credit for something that you didn't actually do.
The thing is, it won't be bad at it for long.
Right.
I mean, right now,
I disagree.
Right now, you can look at it and say, oh, yeah, I can tell this is written by something else. But that, I dare say, in the next couple of years, you will have a hard time. Mike's not doing this.
And I'll tell you why. We had Stuart Jaffe on the show, which I'm sure, Ro, you don't remember him.
And Stuart, nothing against you, man. I don't remember anybody.
This is true.
I just have
but the one thing he said, maybe he might told me in Greensboro, not on the show, but anyway, he's like, what everyone forgets is that AI is really nothing more than a glorified aggregator. And if you're going to aggregate everything and it has no sense of style, so it can't tell what's good and what's bad, you're going to get average. That's what it's going to deliver because it's just an aggregator. It cannot tell you what feelings are. It will never be able to write an emotional scene without stealing directly from someone. So I'm not worried. The day when they can write better than me is the day I need a new hobby. If I can't do better than that, then there's other things I need to do.
The thing is, and maybe there are people who can't write very much feeling either, right?
Well,
I mean, human beings who have a hard time writing that. I'm reading a book right now, and I won't say what it is, but if I was to do the version of a review show that I have often mentioned that I would love to do, and just actually say what I think as opposed to being nice, you know? I mean, if it's really good, I would say it's really good, right? But I would say that the person who wrote this probably didn't date much when they were younger, right? And read a lot of comic books or something. And it's like, we get it, man. You know, stop. I don't need a 3-page love scene in the middle of an ostensibly fantasy book when I'm 70% of the way through the book and I don't even know who the fucking bad guy is yet. You know, but you've given me loads of their love life, for God's sakes. And this isn't marketed as a romance or a fantasy romance, right? It's just, anyway.
So, Corbin, question for you, since EL is claiming that, you know, he is the one being talked about here.
We're not talking about you, EL.
Do you put anyone that you know in your books?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've not put anybody that I know in my books. I've really gone out of my way to avoid doing that. I just don't want anybody reading any characters that are portrayed in a negative way and being like, oh, I wonder if that's him, or I wonder if that's her. And so it was just easier to say, there's any character that you see in this book or any situation that you see in this book is not based on a person in my real life. Obviously, there can be some inspirations that happen, particularly with situations, or you can learn about character quirks through people. But yeah, I haven't written any real people into the book.
So EL writes me into all his books now, and he kills me every time. And I will tell you, you should really do it. It's a lot of fun because in this book, there you go, Ro. I actually had a bingo card of authors. I have 17 authors who I name by name in here, and Tim Wolf is the lamest antagonist ever. Which is if you read his stuff, he writes pretty dark fantasy. And I'm like, I'm sorry, dude, but I was going for cozy, at least initially, so you are the lamest villain ever. And just so you know, the sequel is out now, everyone.
There you go.
So, you get a lot of glare on that, Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me show it again.
There you
Jungle
go.
Plant. Still a lot of glare. There we go.
Corbin, you might want to hold up your book again, or Mike's going to take every opportunity he can to do this. You're going to want to just reach out and smack
Shadows of the
There we go.
Lands.
Do you have a cover for the next book yet, or is that like still kind of wrapped in secrecy?
So I do not have an official cover. Working with Seema Love on the cover design. One of the and there's Mike Cahoon. Mike's an awesome guy. Read his book, The Scion Conspiracy. I meant to bring a copy, but it's up on my my bedside table right now, where I'm going to read it later. So there's going to be two. The plan is for two covers. One is going to be done by Seema, more in this art style, and would look like it would fit next to that on a bookshelf. The other one is one that I'm designing, and the thought is that it would be a Kickstarter exclusive for the hardcover on the jacket sleeve, and that, or the dust jacket. And if you took it off, underneath the hardcover, it would be the actual cover design that fits in with the rest of the book, but then there'd be a limited edition, a dust jacket that would be that unique design by me. So I've mostly finalized that design, and then Seema's going to be working on the official cover art.
Now, you've mentioned Kickstarter a couple times. Have you done those successfully?
Yep, we did a Kickstarter for Shadows of the Sundered Lands, and it did really well. It funded, I think, within 30 minutes. And it got about 60 backers, which for a debut novel in basically pre-order sales, that was a huge win. I was told by other people in the industry to expect 50 sales in my first year, and so having 60 in pre-orders was huge. And that was December 20th is when we launched the book. And then Amazon orders just over the weekend, just Amazon, not including the Kickstarter, surpassed 100 sales just over the weekend. So I'm super, super happy with how the book is doing.
So you say you're not that good at social media, but you must have quite a few people linked into your social media then if you get that kind of response. Yeah, either that, you're from like a really big family.
I think I'm getting better at social media.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at it. When I started out, I had no clue what I was doing, and a lot of the pictures that I was putting in were warped or didn't look very good. But I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. I think it's probably not healthy, but I keep saying things like I'm not good at this, and I think that's probably me like setting myself up like, hey, it's okay if I mess up in the future because I'm not actually good at social media. But I do think I'm getting better at it, and that marketing background that I have has been helping.
Social media is also one of those things. It's like, what does it mean to be good at it, right? Because people will kind of do this one-off weird thing that will just go freaking million view viral.
Right.
And then other people will sit there and painstakingly kind of plan these things out, and it doesn't reach their entire circle of friends.
Right.
So it just seems one of those, and this is old man me, I guess, get off my lawn kind of thing. But to be good at social media, it's like when I see people hiring social media managers, I just kind of die inside, right? Because it's like, really?
Well, and you know, this shows how out of touch I was with social media. I didn't realize there were bot accounts, and so I would see these other authors that had huge platforms and all these, you know, tens and tens and thousands of followers, but none of their stuff that they posted would get any engagement, like 5 likes or something. I'm like, how do they have 35,000 followers, but only 4 of them are liking this picture? I was like, I don't get it. And yeah, it's kind of like a house of cards with all these bot followers. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh yeah. I would, when I first got back on Twitter a year or two ago, I would go through and just start weeding them out. And now I don't get too many anymore. But yeah, you would always get these, you know, Eastern European, you know, women want to be your friend kind of thing. It's like, you know, you don't. Go away.
And if you see somebody who like likes a post and shares it, and it's like, I posted that 3 months ago about, you know, something that's been over for 3 months. That's like, okay, bot, you know, goodbye.
Well, sometimes that's somebody new to your channel, right? And they're kind of going through your back posts or whatever, and just kind of liking whatever. But yeah,
right. But in September, if they like, Corbin Rook video was great, I'm like, did you just watch it now 6 months later, or did you, this is the one that randomly showed up and you said, I'll like this?
Right. Or I'll get a lot of people or bots reaching out asking for like paid reviews. And it's like, hey, if you pay us some money, we'll review your book. And I remember the first time I got that, and I didn't know it was from a bot. And I remember reading it and being like, why would I pay for a review? Like, it's like give a conflict of interest, right? How do you be an unbiased reviewer if you're getting money from the guy? I was like, delete, this is ridiculous. And then again, I didn't realize it was a bot, but later on, you know, I found, I was like, oh, that's just a common bot message. I get that all the time now.
Yeah.
I like the whole, our reading club will read your book if you send us money. I'm like, just go ahead and buy it. That's fine. You don't need me.
Right. There was one bot that was like, what sort of books do you write? And I remember being like, that's weird that, you know, like they didn't say, but I was like, oh, it's a fantasy book. And he's like, well, I write fiction too. We should probably connect. Maybe we can help each other. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. And then the sales pitch started coming, and I was like, oh, okay, like this is not a real human being.
Yeah, there's so much of that on it. It's kind of disappointing, really, that you have to spend the extra time. It's not like social media doesn't take up enough of your time already.
Right.
Trying to come up with, you know, continuous and engaging content, that now you also have to spend your time, you know, filtering through all the noise.
Right. It's probably as bad as spending your time with 2 grumpy old guys.
I know, right? What were you thinking about? Hey, 42 minutes in. If you haven't already, like and subscribe.
Woohoo!
We didn't get to the end, Mike. We're getting better.
Hey, we did it before 50-minute mark. We're getting better.
We will do this before the 10-minute mark at some point in our lives. We've been at this for what, 3 years now?
Yeah, something like that. 300 plus interviews, you know. We'll get there.
We'll figure it out. So any other like little side projects or anything you got going on?
Yeah, there's a book that I'm working on right now that is more of a side project, just moving along slowly. And it's a fantasy story that's inspired by the Incan Empire. It started with a conversation with my wife, where she said, hey, I've got this idea for a book. And the plot that she came up with is basically that this woman is magically required to have a child, but she's infertile. And so, you know, what happens? And she's struggling with this infertility, but she's magically required to have a child. And so she kind of talked me through some of her ideas. And I asked her if she wanted to co-write it, and she's like, maybe, but you know, why don't you take a crack at it? And so I've been working on it because I thought a lot of her ideas were just terrific. And then we were reading Strength of the Few together by James Islington, which, you know, if anybody has not checked out the Hierarchy series, what are you doing? Like check it. It's fantastic. But a lot of the book is, you know, set in this world inspired by the Roman Empire. So my wife and I were having a conversation about what other cultures we would like to see in fantasy books, and she mentioned the Incan Empire, and I thought that is perfect for your idea. And so I did a lot of research into the Incan Empire, read a lot of books, podcasts, YouTube videos, Wikipedia to educate myself, and has been just treating that more as a side project right now. Once the third book of my series is in beta reading, I'm going to pick that up and work a little bit more quickly on it. But yeah, that's my side project I'm working on. I'm really, really excited about that one.
It's amazing.
So do they use quipus?
They do. That is part of it.
Good,
good.
Yes.
You
Very
have one
important.
back there, Mike, somewhere on the wall?
I do not have a quipu.
All right.
For anyone that doesn't know, a quipu is the way they would, keep track of numbers and statistics essentially. And so they'd have ropes with special tied knots. The shape of the knot, the color of the knot, placement of the knot could all mean something different. And so you'd have people that would be trained to read this knot artwork. And so, yeah, these quipus plays a big role in the story.
Wow. Good grief.
Like, right-handed knot meant male and a left-handed knot meant female. And they'd come and say, okay, you're a farmer. How many cows do you have?
Right.
We have from last year. It says that we have this, and they'd go through and adjust, and then do your taxes based on the knots, because you'd have one, and the government would have one.
And what's fun about a fantasy story is you can expand that a little bit, and not only is it statistics and counting, but there could someone could read it like a book. It just because fantasy is fun. You can kind of make reality whatever you want it to be.
Bro, it was Excel before Excel.
Yep.
God.
One of the things I learned, I forget the name of the city, but archaeologists found, Incan structures, and it was farming, and they found these grain houses, and there was different quipus in each grain house, and the hypothesis is that they were using the quipus to measure how old the grains were.
Well, that's cool.
That's kind of crazy. So you're spending a lot of time doing the research for it.
Yeah, I wanted to be as respectful, to the Incan culture as possible. Leaning into fantastical elements where I can, since it is a fantasy story. But I want it to be true to the spirit of the Incan Empire wherever I can. So
when you're writing a fantasy story, what's the most difficult kind of scene to write for you?
It's a good question. I've always struggled with descriptions, specifically like if I'm describing like this is what the room looks like. It's just always been a bit of a blind spot for me. Sometimes I overlook it, and then when I try to write these descriptions, that's when the prose starts to come out a little clunkier, and so I have to try to figure out what's the right way to dress up this prose a little bit. Or sometimes it's something dumb where it's like I just don't know what that's called. Like if you're describing different types of roofs, it's like I don't know. It was a pointed roof. It's like I don't know what to say here. And so that ends up being a little bit of a blind spot for me. So it's something I've been working on.
I don't want you two guys from North Kentucky to take this the wrong way. Are you related by any chance?
I was just going to ask, like, Ro, do you edit for anybody who doesn't like adjectives?
Mike is the exact same way.
There we go.
Like, adjectives are your friend, Mike,
So if I can just real quick aside, my short story that I'm submitting to the anthology, I sent it to my proofreader and I was like, Melissa, paraphrasing Ro, but it was, oh my God, you used adjectives. And she responded, you learned what adjectives are?
That's awesome.
So it's my most descriptive piece by far.
There you go. And
I keep thinking I could cut off a good 500 words from the 5,400 if I just got rid of some adjectives, but
and I know
people like adjectives. What can I say?
Here's a question for you then. You've read The Hobbit, right?
I have read The Hobbit. It's
okay.
Hold on one second. This I've got 2 copies of it right here.
Alrighty.
This book, it's a very special copy to me. It's my first copy of The Hobbit. It's the one I got as a kid. But as a kid, Chronicles of Narnia was my introduction to fantasy. And like a lot of people, I finished a series. I'm like, well, now what? I want to read something different.
Right.
And my mom said, well, if you liked Chronicles of Narnia, maybe you'd like Lord of the Rings. And so we went to it was called the Book Rack, and it was just this discount kind of thrift store for books. And we got this copy, which you can tell is a little bit beat up.
That's the way it should look.
This is the book that made me fall in love with the fantasy genre.
So that now in the air is Tom Bombadil. Does he make the story better, or should he have been edited out?
I loved the Tom Bombadil character, and I think it would have been really cool to figure out a way to have gotten him into the movies beyond a couple lines from Treebeard that are Bombadil lines. Were it a modern day book where people are their attention spans are a little bit shorter, yeah, maybe taking Tom Bombadil out would make it a little bit more of a crisper story, move a little bit more quickly. But for my personal enjoyment, I would not take it out. I love Tom Bombadil.
No, wrong answer. You have to move to Ohio now.
Good answer. Mike and I have several questions that we ask, and I don't know, Mike, have we ever agreed on one of these questions? I mean,
No.
And anybody watching this thinks that we're doing it as a bit, but no. I mean,
we're two cantankerous old men. That should not surprise you.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
I'm Star Wars. Star Wars.
All of them?
No. I will say I think that Star Wars as a whole has put out more bad than it has good. I will say that, and I know people are going to throw rocks at me. People love them some Star Wars, but I think there's more. My hot take is that there's more bad Star Wars than good Star Wars.
You're in a safe place. You're all right. This is a safe space for you.
Okay, so Ro, I'm going to ask my question.
Hold on one sec.
Okay.
We have a question from the audience. I pretty much, So, does the book have aliens that build Pumapunku and whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, the book that I'm writing does not have that right now.
All right, no aliens, J4. Sorry.
No aliens.
All right, Mike, ask your dumbass question.
Okay, Corbin. I want you to envision yourself. You are going down Turfway Avenue, and you are in a saddle. And this saddle can either be on a griffin or a T-Rex. Which one do you choose and why?
I'm going to pick a griffin.
You're wrong. Go to Ohio. That's it. Done.
I'm wrong.
You are with 95% of the people he asked this question to. Kevin. You're fine.
I think griffins can fly, so I think that would be really cool.
But T-Rexes could really damage stupid drivers on the road.
You know what? That's a good point. Point.
And I'm very much a road rager.
Griffins can just go VFR direct. They don't have to follow a stupid road.
Till they get eaten by a T-Rex.
What, with his little hands going to reach up and grab them?
Hey, push-ups are hard for them.
Yeah, that's right.
I just finished. I know it's not a T-Rex in the book, but I just finished the Butcher's Masquerade in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. And so the dinosaur reminds me of Tina, the dinosaur with the feather boa and the little wands, and so maybe if we put a feather boa and a little wand on a dinosaur with the saddle, maybe that would make the T-Rex worth it.
A Dragosaur.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. On that note, hold up your book again, Corbin. For the folks who came in late or whatever, just hold that thing up so people can see it. One more time, and hold up there for a sec. Corbin's thing is going. His website is going along the bottom. CorbinRookAuthor.wordpress.com. So check that out and go grab it so you can have it read by the time book 2 comes out later this year.
That's right. And please, if you read it, leave a review, whether you like it or whether you don't like it.
Right.
Reviews help us out a lot.
God, I wish I could just get a review every now and then. I mean, I still go check probably 2 or 3 days a week. I don't know why. But every now and then one will show up and I just get all kind of like
Mm-hmm.
8-year-old Christmas excited about it, and
I did that once. I looked and I got, oh my God, I got 2 reviews overnight, and they were both 2-star reviews.
Ouch.
But you know what? Even those help you out. I mean, for not trying to brag, but for a while, my book was only getting 4 and 5-star reviews, and I was getting into the high 30s with reviews, and it was still only 4 and 5 stars. And I remember telling my wife, I was like, I need a 3-star, something that makes it look like I just don't have a big family.
Right.
That was all reviewing this book. And not long after that, two readers read it and both gave it a 3-star, and I celebrated so hard.
Wait till you get your first 1-star.
They give credibility to the 4 and 5
Yeah.
stars.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait till you get your first 1. That's an exciting day. It really is. It's kind of like, all right, cool, whatever.
Cool.
See, I feel
As
cheated.
long as it's not your first 1, right? That would suck. That would
Yeah.
suck hard. But if it's 20, 30 in.
I feel cheated. I've got 1-star ratings, but no one's ever left a review with a 1-star.
You want me to?
So-
Yeah.
I got a couple 2-stars that were, absolute gibberish, and I'm like, that's fine. Everyone knows you're a loon. You go ahead. But yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Rod. This book got a couple 2-stars and even a 1-star rating.
My wife mentioned your book to me the other day.
Why? Is she reading it?
No. She doesn't read mine. She's not going to read yours. I'll tell you why after.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was funny. Right. We don't have any other people to interview this week, do we, Mike?
We did, but his grandmother passed away, so he cannot make it. So we'll reschedule.
We'll give him a pass on that.
And exciting news: next Monday, I will have an all-new look.
Getting those hair implants finally?
Nope, getting rid of what little hair I have. Yep, going chrome dome.
Tomorrow night, for anybody who's interested, tomorrow night at 7, we are doing the random writing prompt. So if you want to get yourself in a half an hour of writing in a random genre with a random prompt, please join us. It's a nice, quiet half hour. And then I guess we're back next week at some point.
Next Monday with Steve Guglich.
All right.
I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong, but
It won't be the first time, won't be the last. Corbin, thank you very much, sir.
Well, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, appreciate you hanging out with us. And good luck with your book. It looks awesome. And I think you should probably be trying to get your publisher to pitch that to I can see that as a Netflix film. I really can. Just that whole idea of the shrouds and all that. I think that's an awesome idea.
Thank you. I flattered by that. So let's make the Netflix film happen. Let's do it.
All right. Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining us. Appreciate your time.
okay, let's wave awkwardly and wait for it to end.